Welcome back to Crystal's Literary Lounge. Today I'm reviewing two novels by Christine Feehan, and up first I have Judgement Road. So Judgement Road is book one in the new Torpedo Ink series, and it will follow a motorcycle club, and each member of this club were once Russian assassins. Judgement Road is the story of Anya and Reaper. Reaper is the enforcer of Torpedo Ink, and Anya doesn't really have much of a backstory, honestly. You find out that she was in foster care as a child, and now as a grown woman, she's kind of just been a wanderer. Judgement Road is different than anything Christine Feehan has written before. This story is more grounded and deals with things that aren't necessarily paranormal at all. Everything in here is very much rooted in reality. There are a few elements of paranormal, but nothing like Feehan has in any of her other series. This book is kind of a heavy book because it deals with post-traumatic stress disorder as well as mental illness. The character of Reaper is fully developed and very well-rounded. The whole book, you get to see into his past and see the trauma that made him into the person that he is today, and how he is trying to deal with that trauma as an adult. Anya ends up working as a bartender for the club, and of course Reaper falls for her. Her past ends up coming back and tangling up with the club, and so she ends up helping the club as well as the other motorcycle club that comes into play into this novel. As I said before, I was really disappointed with the character of Anya. She was a flat character. She wasn't well-rounded at all. We didn't have much of a backstory, and the relationship between her and Reaper, I really didn't feel anything there. It really felt forced. It didn't feel like these two characters went together at all. The plot was a good plot, and the setting was very well written. It took us back to Sea Haven and the surrounding area of Sea Haven. So just like Christine Feehan, Sisters of the Heart novel as well. Overall, I give Judgement Road 3 stars. This is only book one, so a lot was spent on developing the setting and kind of giving an introduction to all of the other characters. So I do have high hopes for the rest of the books in the series. Unfortunately, though, the series, there was a lot missing, and I felt that it could have been better. Covert Game was released in March, and fans of Feehan's game series will be happy to know that this book is an excellent installment to this series. This is the story of Gino and Zara Hightower. Zara Hightower, she is the leading expert in artificial intelligence, and she goes to China. She's supposed to be speaking there. Of course, she is one of the women that Whitney ended up experimenting on as a child. So even though she's there, she's still in Whitney's pocket. And so she ends up completely taking down a Chinese crime lord's computer network. She's captured and she's tortured for this. So Gino and his team are sent to China to rescue her. They rescue her, they bring her back to the swamps of Louisiana, and during this time, when she's in the swamps, her and Gino, their relationship is allowed to develop organically, which I really liked. I also really enjoyed the character of Zara. She's completely different than any of the other heroines that Christine Feehan has written before, and a lot of time is spent on pointing this out. So you see how Zara's strengths is different than the strengths of their other heroines, and how even though she's different, she still is a strong personality, and it was just a breath of fresh air, honestly. I even enjoyed the villains of this novel because the villains were so well written that you were emotionally invested into what happens to them. You really wanted them to lose. You really wanted Gino to come in and take the villains out. I give Covert Game 5 stars because there was great plot development, the setting was great, the characters were absolutely well written, and this was a great installment to the game series.